guys. How is everybody?
Yeah, how you doing, Matt? How's everybody? Welcome along to the Barbecue Talk Show. Once again, here we are on a Friday, the only live multi-platform barbecue talk show in the UK. So, here we go. What have you been up to this week? And that's a standard question. Today, I have actually taken my smash burger cherry. It went very well. I was quite happy. So
yeah, what did they come out like, mate? All right.
They come out really good, actually. I was very impressed by them. Really, really tasty. Even done a little bit of like grilled cheese on the griddle. So laid it all up with bacon and cheese and brioche bun and all that good stuff. And I didn't even put any sauce in it. They tasted that good. That's how well it went.
Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they? I mean, I've been going on at you for ages to get those smash burgers done, and are we going to go back, or are we going to, are we now a convert to smash burgers?
Oh, I think what I'm going to do is maybe flit in between. I want to be non-burger Pacific.
Burger neutral.
Burger neutral, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But I like a big juicy burger, but also the smash burgers were good. So yeah, I can recommend.
I did some chicken thighs on the barbecue tonight. Hot and fast, nice crispy skin, mustard, some flour, some garlic, some salt. Just put it all over, let it sit for a couple of half hour. It doesn't really need that much time because French's mustard. You don't really want that permeating too much into the chicken taste. Chuck it on 350. Yeah, it crisps right up. Lovely. Pull it off about 165. Nice. Really, really good.
Yeah, I saw some pictures you put up. They look banging, mate, to be honest.
Yeah. Gonna do spatchcock chicken Sunday. And I am going to do a braised rolled brisket. Courtesy of our guest. I will be using his recipe to do the brisket.
So that should be quite interesting then.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the last time I cooked brisket, it was like leather. So, I mean, granted, it's not a pack of brisket. As you guys know, in the UK, they're a little bit difficult to come by. So, it'll be the rolled brisket from the supermarket. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it braised and cooked. We'll see what it comes out like.
Fair play, mate. Well, I look forward to seeing what it's like as well, to be honest, mate. So, fair play to you. I've got a couple of little things in the pipeline for my YouTube channel that I've got to do. I've got to bang out some cocktail videos this weekend. Doing a beef shin video this weekend, hot and fast, the tacos. I'm going to do prawn tacos as well, just because I've got something. I brought a load of taco stuff, so I might as well do a couple of taco videos. It's because why not?
Are you doing the shin? Was that part of our little collab by any chance?
Indeed, it is. Yeah.
I see Tom's in the chat already. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
I guess now we can kind of announce it, can't we? We're going to do a bit of a three-way collab with Tom, myself, and Ryan. We'll be using Rusty Barbecue Co's rubs and sauces, and see who comes up with the nicest recipe. That'll be appearing on some YouTube soon.
It's a competition now, is it?
Yeah, might as well
up my game a bit then. I was to sort a couple of tacos, you know what I mean? But I'll have to
there you go.
Step it up a bit. They'll be Instagram pretty now.
Yeah, absolutely. Right then, so shall we get our guest in?
I'm sure everybody knows who he is in the UK, but for our US friends across the pond, this week we have Marcus Bawdon, creator of Food and Fire. Also, he runs a really big group over in the UK called Country Wood Smoke. We're going to have a chat about his book and all things Q. His book's been out a while now. It's very successful. I believe it's on its second or third publishing, so it's going really well. It's available over in the States, so check it out. I'm sure if you're curious, he'd love it if you could buy some. So yeah, find it. The link will be in the show notes. So if everybody could also share the stream and get it going, send it places where we can't, that'd be amazing. Tell all your mates. So let's get this show rolling, shall we?
Hi Marcus, how you doing?
Hey guys.
Cheers.
How you doing? Cheers.
Yeah, I'm well, mate. Really well. Nice and warm in the UK today.
Oh, it's lovely. It's a bit cooler this evening out in my shack, but yeah, it's lovely. Nice cold beer. Job's good and really.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
Funny you were saying, Ryan, about cooking smash burgers. Really good to see that. And I cooked some as well this evening, and I love them. A lot of people don't get them, but you know, it's an option, isn't it? You got, you know.
Yeah. It's the first, like Matt's been on me.
For burgers.
Matt's been saying, "Oh, you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it." And there's a couple of guys like in a chat now, like Pickles and that. They're really big on it in the States, and they're like, "Yeah, smash burgers and all that." And I was like, "All right, I'll give it a go."
Yeah.
And to be honest, they're really, really tasty. I was pretty happy with how they turned out, considering I've never done it before. Yeah, good job, I think. In my
What did you smash them with?
A cast iron pan. It was pretty low tech. It was on a piece of mild steel, 1/4-inch mild steel, on a Weber kettle with a with a cast iron pan on top with a bit of parchment paper so it didn't stick. But they come out all right. Pretty low tech. But
did you see my custom press that I've got for them?
That's wicked, mate.
I'll tell you what, that did a hell of a job. Hell of a job that does. Get it nice and hot underneath.
Yeah. I suppose the heat must radiate up into that as well. So you're getting heat from both sides, are you? Or?
You do. So the first few probably you get you get heat from the top plate as well. And I might go for a thicker top plate as well as an option, because you can take that out and I might go for a thicker one. But you know, after the first sort of 2 or 3, it runs out of steam on the top. But you can always charge it up again. So it takes a minute to charge up again. So
it looks wicked, man. I've got smash burger envy. And they did turn out really nice as well. They did look really good, to be honest, Marcus. So
did you go for like 3? I think smash burgers have to be done in 3s.
Oh, I only done 2, to be fair. I wasn't 100% sure how big to make them. I had 2 packs of mince, so I done them into like 2 balls each. So it's like just a double.
I use an ice cream scoop, and I scoop it up, plop it on, salt and pepper on top, smash.
Oh, that's a good idea. Actually, you get a constant all the time then. So yeah, that's top tip. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll try that next time.
Get a big one, big ice cream scoop. You don't want little tiny burgers.
Golf ball size one.
There'd be smash sliders. There you go, brand new thing. Have a smash slider.
There you go.
It's about 5 seconds on the plate. That's it.
Yeah, but you were saying you were burger neutral. I'm burger positive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You love burgers.
Smash burgers all the way now, is it, Marcus?
No, I love all the different types. Really, I do love. For me, the ultimate's probably on just cooked on a plancha with some good, good cheap nasty cheese on, and then steamed with beer and a cloche over. I think that is my ultimate, probably. But I love them all. They're different. I quite like doing like a patty melt sort of thing, and with onions and different sort of burgers. You got to celebrate them all, haven't you?
Yeah,
you got to try them all.
No, you can't beat a burger, can you? Really? Let's be honest.
Burgers it's ultimate food. Ultimate barbecue.
They do get a bit. They get a bit of a rough ride along with sausages. People say, "Oh, British barbecue, sausages and burgers," and that's about it. But if sausages and burgers are done great, then they are awesome. But there's the whole world outside that that's exciting as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
I wouldn't mind actually trying to make my own sausages, or obviously slightly off a thing, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind giving that a go. That'd be quite cool.
Hot links are the one to do. Try and do hot links if you can. They're really hard to get a good hot link in the UK, and
All right.
you know, our friends over in the States have got some good choice of hot links. But I've had some really good ones. Mark Dennis at Dutchy down in Cornwall, he does. It's so beautiful, his hot links,
Hmm.
but he doesn't do many of them. So
Nah, fair enough. Try like hotcakes then.
yeah,
Right. I've got the biggest
quite like
bee that's coming.
Argentine chorizo sausages as well.
Mm.
Are pretty good. You know, cook slowly, and you know,
Nice.
it's good.
Imagine,
Oh, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Got excited about all the talk of smash burgers.
Yeah. I was pretty excited earlier. You should see me. I was like a kid in a toy shop. I was like, "Ooh, smash burger!" Yeah, it was really, really good.
For those people that are watching that don't know who you are, Marcus, tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what's your backstory.
Okay, so my name's Marcus Bawdon. I live in sunny Devon in the southwest of the UK. It's usually pretty nice weather down here. It's quite warm, but even when it's not warm, I carry on cooking outdoors. And I've got this lovely shack that I've got here, nice big shack that I built. The start of it sort of, I guess, 10 years ago when we moved to the country from the city. And ever since sort of moving here, I've sort of explored sort of barbecue. Really, I had a guy over the road who was a butcher, really, like rare breed sort of butcher, and he raised his own animals and butchered them. And yeah, just after I was a veggie for 12 years from being a student, and I really started getting into meat, and sort of 10 years ago. When we moved here, I sort of really started getting into sort of, you know, parties and cooking outdoors, and I got fed up quite quickly with sort of burgers and sausages and being stuck on the grill. And I looked at different options. So I cooked like a hog roast, and cooked that slowly over on a rotisserie over the fire. Built my own pizza oven, and yeah, that's how I sort of started really. And just really enjoyed cooking with flames. And I at the time there was nobody really sort of doing much with barbecue in the UK. There was a few people doing competition barbecue. It was just getting going in the UK, but there wasn't much. And you know, I loved writing about food and taking pictures of it and doing videos and stuff. And nobody else was really sort of blogging about barbecue in the UK. There weren't really many male food bloggers at all. So I set up my blog, Country Wood Smoke, 10 years ago, and it all sort of grew from there, really. Yeah, I've just sort of looked at opportunities, and you know, there've been a lot of opportunities. I mean, even 5 years ago, you know, things were pretty small, really. And even in the States, you know, it wasn't, you know, it didn't have the momentum it's had of the last few years. And you know, the last few years have really taken off, really. And I love it. I'm all about encouraging people to barbecue better and to have a bit of confidence. And a lot of people struggle sort of with their first steps of barbecuing. So I like to encourage and support and educate and help people to barbecue a little bit better and to find stuff that they enjoy cooking.
Yeah, well, credit to you, Marcus. I remember when I first started up, you sort of put your sort of arm around me and give me some really good advice. So, power to you, man. Credit to you. Thank you very much.
You. I like to, a lot of what I do, I mean, for a long time, people were sort of saying to me, oh, yeah, you should do this, you should do a podcast, you should do this and that and the other, because nobody else was really doing it. And I really like it that there's guys like yourselves, there's a lot of guys with sort of, you know, websites and YouTube channels coming on now. And, you know, that is really good. It's positive. It shows that the scene's growing and there's depth. And, that inspires more people and gets the word out wider. And I've always believed in supporting everyone doing good things in barbecue. So, you know, I work and I get inspired by a lot of guys, you know, doing good stuff, and it's a two-way process really. And I love the scene at the moment. You know, 10 years ago it was awful quiet really. There weren't people doing it. Now I've got some mates who like barbecuing and doing social media and stuff, who like sharing stuff and chatting, which is great. So it's good.
All good, man. A positive cycle, isn't it? Positivity breeds positivity.
Absolutely.
And so on.
Absolutely. And we haven't in the UK had a great reputation. We were very, very good at it in the past. You know, we were famous for cooking meat on big spits in front of the fires and stuff. And we've got it in us. So I think that there's a real opportunity here for inspiring people, you know, to barbecue a bit better. And I think that's an opportunity for all of us. Like, you know,
100%.
Oh, 100%. So, like, even like with your book as well, the information in that book is absolutely gold dust. I've made a fair few of them recipes, and they're all delicious and pretty easy to follow. We won't mention one in particular one, but we'll leave that in a siding for a little while and get back to that.
I mean, Food and Fire, you know, I wanted to do something for a long time, and there were a lot of brilliant American barbecue books here in the UK, but I wanted to look at a bit more of a global and look at things that would inspire people in the UK, not just to cook ribs and brisket and things, but to do, you know, food from Japan and China and Thailand and South America, and you know, give people a bit more of a global, and things that we can do here in the UK. So start the ball rolling with some more British things as well, you know. So we build our own identity a bit, and it's coming.
Yeah, I think it is slowly coming along. There's a lot of people doing a lot of innovative stuff in the UK, you know, like not necessarily using all of the all of the bells and whistles, but like a lot of sort of stripped back barbecue, almost just back to basics, cooking over fire, and pretty much like what you do. There's a lot of interesting people doing a lot of interesting stuff at the moment over here. So it's sort of a bit Westfield, like, but away from the norm, you could say. But yeah, a lot of people are doing a lot of good stuff from what I've seen.
So I've just seen a question pop up. Yeah.
So how do you think the barbecue scene in the UK is different to America, Australia, Mexico, etc., places like that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I mean, barbecue's the same really the world over. It's cooking with fire and smoke, and you know, that's it really. We've always in the UK thought of barbecue as grilling, I guess. That's held us back. As soon as people sort of started really realizing that there was smoking, there was different ways of cooking, that opened up the floodgates really, and people sort of suddenly realized that there were different ways of cooking rather than just grilling. I see it as a real opportunity. We always in the UK, we are very open to food culture from around the world. I mean, our you know, if you probably would say the most popular dish in the UK is probably a curry dish, and you know, we've got our own heritage, you know, things like fish and chips and blah de blah, but a lot of our food is food from people who've moved here, and that's really exciting. And I think with barbecue, we've got a bit of a clean slate opportunity that we can learn from other fire cooking cultures, and we can develop our own things and do our own thing a little bit. I think if we purely copy what other cultures do in the States, for example, then we're always just going to be a poor copy of the States. You know, we've got some great food here, some great produce, and it's good to see that there's a real push at the moment for cooking British briskets, and a lot of British meat producers are starting to wake up and realize that there's an opportunity there. If they can produce something that is suitable for barbecuing and smoking, that there's a real opportunity there. So there's a real push on at the moment for British produce to be cooked well, you know, and that is really exciting, I think. So, I mean, it's all the same, really. It's cooking with fire, but there's some real opportunities here, I think, as well. So, I hope that answers the question.
Actually, could I just chip in a minute? I've actually just thought of it. I've seen you cooking some like ex-dairy cows and things like that.
Yeah.
I've never experienced any of that, but how does that compare to like the general sort of Angus beef or whatever we'd get? I wouldn't mind trying some. I was just wondering what.
Yeah, again, you can generalize it. I've had some pretty awful, tough shoe leather stuff, but I've had, I mean, you know, my mate Ollie Warner, Meat Matters, the steaks I've had off him and the brisket I did the other day was the best I've cooked and the best I've tasted, really. And I just went very simple with salt and pepper on that and smoke, and it was so good, really so good. And the steaks were so good they made me cry. They're so good. I've tried a lot of steak. You know, I've done a lot of steak. I've judged steaks from around the world. I've been a judge at the World Steak Championship, and you know, I've tried a lot of. You know, I'm a bit of a beef nerd, and I've tried a lot. And some of the retired dairy stuff, not only is it ethical, but actually it is up there with the best.
No,
when it's good, when it's bad, it's not so good. But you know, it's like anything really. You get good and bad stuff, and people tend to tar if they've had a bad experience. They say, "Oh yeah, that's no good," but actually, there's variation.
100%. So Russell from the Rusty Barbecue Co. He wants to know if you could choose just one piece of outdoor cooking to do, to have to do for the rest of your life, and that was it only, what would it be?
So I'm very fortunate. I've got pretty much every bit of kit you could possibly imagine here. I work with a lot of companies. I help a lot of companies. Some of them are spectacularly good, others not so. If I were to choose one thing, at the moment, I don't know if you've seen my big, my new hanging thing that I designed myself, and that probably, I'm loving the opportunity with that. Would I cook a brisket on that? No. You know, you got to have the fire ticking over for a long time. So, but yeah, it gives me all sorts of opportunities to cook, and I just think that's great. I mean, I've got, you know, ceramic cookers, they're brilliant. Pizza ovens, I started off cooking on pizza ovens even before I had barbecues, really. So yeah, difficult question, really. You know, if I wanted one to do all, probably a kettle barb. You know, I got an original Weber 57. You could do anything on that, can't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
And that is really good. So you know, I teach people how to cook on those. They're accessible. Would I want to stay up all night cooking a brisket on it? Probably not. But I've got other bits of kit for that. So yeah, you know, kit's great, and it helps us, but it's not the be all and end all. It helps us. It's a tool. You know, I love my gadgets and toys and that. Sometimes I really like to challenge myself and go very simple. Cook on a fire pit. Cook, you know, I call it naked cooking, and I keep my clothes on, but go naked from tech. You know, and that's good because that sharpens up your instincts. And I think instinct's very important when you're cooking. We use all of our senses when we cook. Actually, if you tune into a cook and you can hear, you know, fat dripping and sizzling, and you can listen to, you know, different noises. You can smell the smoke change. You know, you can see it change. You know, all of those things. You can see the way the meat's reacted to the heat. All of those senses we need to use, and it's good to go without all the gadgets. But then sometimes you got busy, your kids running around, guests coming out, you want a good night's sleep, chuck it in the pellet grill, easy cook. You know, people have always said to me about pellet grills, oh, isn't it cheating? And I go, well, yeah, it is, absolutely. but why not? You get great food out of them, and
Absolutely. Sometimes that's what people that's all that people want,
yeah, that's technology, isn't it? It makes our life easier, and as long as you get a good job out of it, does a good job, then
Absolutely. I mean, if you've got guests coming around, you don't want to be sat up from the early hours of the morning.
no.
Get there, and your guests are all, oh yeah, no, how are you? And you're just like, yep,
Yeah,
I'm
I've done that. Nursing a brisket through the small hours, and then you're toast really the next day.
Yeah.
Chuck it on a pellet grill.
It's a bed, and up we go.
And it's nice to do that sometimes, isn't it? It's nice to have the opportunities and options to do that. So,
I must admit, I find sitting around a barbecue, it's just a way of relaxing for me. If like you can fire up, like I cook on a drum mainly, you can fire that up, and to be honest, I don't really need nursing that much. They're pretty good. But you can just sit there, watch the well go by, have a beer, and contemplate your week, and then have a little fiddle if you want, or even have a sleep. But as far as other people are concerned, you're cooking the barbecue, so it's good.
My favourite's Christmas dinner on the barbecue, the turkey, and I got 3 little ones, and Christmas morning is mayhem. And I chuck the turkey on pellet grill to make it easy, and I'm like, I just got to nip outside and check the turkey.
Yeah. The turkey's nearly done.
Yeah, I was going to pop outside again. And it's just get a bit of quiet sometimes, and we all need that, don't we? It's a bit of quiet reflection, and a bit of our quality own time. It's what better thing to do than be poking a bit of meat on the barbecue?
Yeah, I find it totally relaxing personally. Right, so here we go. Where are we?
Come back to the questions in the chat in a minute. We'll have a few more from the script.
Yeah. So we run for a couple of food and fire. So the classes you run.
Yeah.
In fact, that was Matt's question. Go on, Matt. No, all right. So you run your classes for people that want to learn more about barbecue from beginner to all the way up to advanced.
Yeah.
What sort of uptake do you get on these? And also, just to chip in, do you work with many competition cooks on them as well, or is it just purely a backyard sort of thing?
So purely backyard. There's some great guys doing sort of competition classes. Ed and Emma, a few bunch of swines. We're doing them for a while. I'm not a competition cook. I've got no interest in competition cooks. I enjoy my food, and my friends and family enjoy it, and that's enough for me. I've done judging as well, so I know good brisket, and it just doesn't excite me to be cooking brisket over and over and again, ribs over and again, chicken and pork. Just doesn't do. I like to be a bit more creative. So I set up my class about 5 years ago, and again, there weren't really much in the way of classes back then when I set it up. Certainly there was a couple of competition classes, but it wasn't for like backyard. And actually, I wanted to do something. Competition's quite, it's like Formula One really of barbecue, quite specific and quite high end. And actually, there's a whole world. And I found most people were interested in learning sort of some nice recipes to cook, some nice food that they could cook for their family. And there was a lot of people who just wanted to learn the basics. So how do you light a barbecue? What charcoal do you use? All those things. And so I set up my basics class, and I love it really. It's probably my favorite class. And I love that people come here probably with a preconceived idea of what barbecue is. Some people say to me, I thought I was going to be doing, a lot of them are bought for presents, and so people can come. I've had people say to me, I didn't know what to expect when I came here. I expected, basic. It would be like how to cook sausages and burgers on a gas grill. And like on my basic class, the first thing I do after I sort of introduce myself is just start chucking hanger steak onto the charcoal direct, and it just blows people's minds. They're just like, looking at me, what are you doing, sort of thing. And I explain to them why I'm doing it, and the very simplest way of barbecue is that you need some food and fire, which is going back to why I called my book Food and Fire. That's it. You can go up from there, but at the basic, it's having some food and fire. So cooking a dirty steak in the embers, it just blows their mind. And you've got them then, and they taste it, and probably 99%. So I normally ask at the end of the class what things people will go home and cook first. 99% it's going to be dirty steak, and people love it. They taste it and they're hooked, and that's what I want to achieve on those classes. I run through all charcoal, smoke, wood types, how to make a dry rub, how to cook chicken thighs, how to do like a roast dinner on the barbecue. I do like roast beef, cherry smoked roast beef, just with smoke and salt and pepper, and that always goes. And then we sit down for a meal at the end, and it's lovely.
That sounds perfect, mate.
Intermediate is a bit more. So I've got the first one coming up this weekend, and it's a bit more sort of. You assume everyone knows all that stuff, and I do drop a little bit of that, but it's more recipe led. So I'll do things like ribs and the pork belly burns ends and Scotch eggs. Scotch eggs. I know somebody's having a bit of trouble with them. So meat battenbergs, and it's just to give people a bit of something extra to do. Next level. I do sort of intermediate ones, advanced classes as well, but they tend to be a bit more bespoke. I've done them for like catering people, chefs, and for people who want to sort of maybe look at going in depth with the balls deep with a brisket.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's really cool. So we've got a question from the chat. Are we going to go back to a question from the chat? Charlie's got as we're talking along them lines, Charlie's got a question. What are your favourite sides for barbecue, Marcus?
So my classic here would be some really good bread. So I make my own bread. I make like a rosemary sea salt focaccia that all my classes I do for, and a really nice slaw. I love like rice dishes as well. I've got like a sort of dirty rice dish, and I cook all the vegetables in the embers along with some herbs and lemon and stuff, and chop them up into a rice with all the herbs. That's pretty special.
That's really good.
Just some nice grilled vegetables would be up there as well, like peppers, courgettes, aubergine, onions. All the good grilled vegetables. You can have a nice simple meal with some good grilled steak and some grilled vegetables, a bit of chimichurri, and a glass of Malbec.
No, you're talking my language.
Good man.
100%. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, beer's quite a good side dish, isn't it? Beer or cider, wine.
Actually, a lot of people are looking into pairing sort of like your beers and wines together with barbecue now, aren't they? Have you seen that?
I have. I've just started chatting with these guys here, Wild Beer, because I really like their beer, and they're quite culinary in their approach. So I'm going to be doing some recipes and stuff with their beers, and I think there's a real opportunity for sort of beer and barbecue pairings as well.
It's sort of
cider's good as well. Whiskey. I'm quite into my drinks too much, maybe.
Oh, we all, mate. Ex rugby lad. There's no way you're not going to be. To be fair,
absolutely.
It's part of the job, unfortunately, and it's a cross we all have to bear.
You've got to keep refreshed, haven't you?
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a difficult game, so you need to be focused, or sort of kind of focused.
Thirsty work, so you've got to keep refreshed.
Absolutely, that's the one. Cheers, brother.
Yes.
Talking about cooking with alcohol, just on a side, sort of little tangent. Have you cooked anything with rum?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the classic rum and pineapples and stuff, but actually rum and pork go really well. and I've done like rum glazes on pork chops with like a rum glaze. That's pretty special. I do love rum. Yeah, I've got one I used to get. It's about 70 quid a bottle, which was a real treat. Ronza Capa in Guatemala. It's beautiful. If you ever see that, try it. Ronza Capa, it's called.
I bet I'm not a big rum drinker, but I know Matt likes a tipple of that stuff.
Yeah, look that one out. It's amazing. Like the flavour starts here and it changes as it goes back in your mouth, and it's just beautiful. And it's got all the flavours there. It's stunning rum.
That's cool. Right.
So your book, Food and Fire. Let's talk about that one. It came out a while ago, but
that one.
There it is. See, we were gonna go and like sort of all three of us have it, but we guessed that you'd probably already have it to your side. So
yeah,
done it unless Ryan's hidden his away and I've forgotten to bring mine.
I haven't got mine, but it's not very thorough. I actually keep it in the kitchen. I use it a lot, to be honest. So it's a bit better.
Thank you.
That's
how I want it to be. I want it to be smeared with barbecue sauce and with.
That's it. I was just about to say. If it hasn't got ingredients on the book, is it really a book that you're using?
Absolutely.
I use it a lot. It's a bit. Well, I wouldn't say it's tattered, but it certainly had well thumbed.
Well used.
Yeah.
It's a good
book. Thank you. Good to hear.
There's some real mouth-watering stuff inside there, and it's been a really good success, isn't it? I mean, you've sold.
It really has
many copies of it now. So tell us what inspired you to create it.
Yeah, it's on the third reprint now, and I think 12,000 copies at least. It's been translated to German. It's available pretty much around the globe. So, yeah, it's amazing. So it's quite funny because people always ask me how much I earn from it and stuff. And really, the last reason I wrote that book was for the money. The first reason was because I wanted to, I guess, inspire people a bit more and give them some recipes. You can find stuff on the internet, but a lot of people like a book, and there's something nice about a book, and it can take you on a journey. I think a book can more than the internet. Internet's good for finding something, yeah, that's it, but it doesn't take you on a journey. I wanted to take people on a bit of a journey, so again, I started with dirty steaks, and they're seen as quite, some people see them as hard to do, but actually it's probably the easiest when you got the right charcoal and heat, and it's the easiest. So I started with dirty steaks in it and sort of went on from there to the different levels. And I wanted to give people a bit more, they see what I do and stuff, but give people a bit more of me. The technique section is a lot of what I teach on my classes, and a lot I see things sort of quite clearly. So things like the fire triangle that's in it. A lot of people struggle with that heat control and stuff, and when you explain to them how to control heat with using air and using the amount of fuel and all those things, then people start to get it, and that's the most amazing thing that I've heard, is that has helped a lot of people to understand heat control and fire. And I do that automatically. A lot of us do those things without thinking, adjust the vents and tweak those, but actually a lot of people don't understand that. And I get a lot of questions over the years and I answer them, and that's given me a clear way of explaining these things. I mean, one of my I love like sort of cars and stuff, and one of my analogies is that you control a barbecue like you control a car. So the amount of fuel you add to your barbecue is the same as your fuel tank on your car. So if you want a longer journey, you add more fuel. Yeah. If you want a short journey, you might just add a little bit if you've only got a few quid. So that's your fuel tank. The vent on the top, that's your brakes. So by closing that down, you slow the barbecue down by trapping the combustion gases. That's your brake. The vent on the inlet on the bottom is your accelerator pedal. Yeah. So you open that up more for more gas, more heat, more air getting to the coals. Bang, off it goes, and gets hotter. So I don't know about you, but I drive my car mostly on the accelerator pedal, not the brake. So I have my vent on the top open mostly, and then control it with the air getting into the bottom. And if you have things close, it's a closed system, so the air going in has to equal the air going out. Simple physics. So things like that, I like to explain to people, and it helps people to understand how to cook on a barbecue. And it's not the only way. You can control it with the top, but I prefer to control it to drive. I drive my car on the accelerator pedal, not the brakes.
I do exactly the same with my drum. I only have like one vent open at the bottom, and maybe depending on the weather.
Yeah.
But generally maybe two on the top. But plus, I feel you get a better burn as well that way. It seems to burn longer.
I think you get a cleaner burn. You get a cleaner fire burn. By closing the bottom one, closing the top one, you're starving the fire, and you're smothering it, not starving it, smothering it, and you get less of a good cook. It's better to let the fire get the air it needs, and to do that. So
yeah.
So the book for me was a way of explaining that to more people.
Yeah, it's always, but to be honest, I remember when I first started out, it was almost like, but once you do actually get it, you get it, and then you try and tell as many people as like you've actually gone and told thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, I should imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like a light
anyway.
moment. Once you sort of like get it, it's a boom. Sort of like cool. Oh, Mike's in. Hi, Mike.
And we all tend to get that in the barbecue community where we do it without thinking really. But you try explaining that to somebody new, and it's not so straightforward. So
yeah, that's very true. Right. So
what you're thinking?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just reading through the chat actually at the minute. Should we take a question for the chat, or we should go? Let's stick with what we're doing. So, what's your favourite thing to cook, or your favourite recipe? What's your absolute favourite thing?
I'd probably surf and turf a dirty steak.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Surf and turf and a dirty steak. That sounds good to me.
Yeah. So some nice scallops, some nice sweet big scallops, and a dirty hanger steak would have to be up there with me.
Nice.
Hanger steaks rock, man. I've only cooked a couple, but they're really good. If you can get them,
they are really good. Yeah. You know why you can't get them, don't you?
No, I don't know. I just said, are you eating them all? What are you doing?
So I have a few. So it's known as the butcher's steak. So quite often the butcher will keep it for his own tea, or what happens quite often is the abattoir where they slaughter the cows. They take the hanger. It's obviously the diaphragm from the inside of the cow. They take that out and they cook that up themselves for their tea. So it doesn't quite often make it to the shelf. So it's a very, very good steak, and the guys who know their meat keep it for themselves.
Well,
yeah, very interesting. I never knew that actually. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to ask my my little.
So next time you ask your butcher for a hanger steak, he says, "I haven't got one." You know why?
Have a run and see what you can find.
It. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Favorite tipple when you're cooking or creating?
Nice cold beer, I think.
Yeah.
When I'm cooking, just a nice cold beer.
That leads us on to a little.
I brew my own.
Brewing your own.
Yeah, I've got I've got 3 taps and a kegerator. So I've got a refrigerator that I've got 3 kegs in, and then 3 taps, so I can brew my own beer, 20 litres of my own beer, and then I've got 40 pints of beer ready there. So when I've got 3 full ones on the go, that is 40, 80, 120 pints of beer when it's full, my kegerator. So enough for a session.
Yeah, just to get you through the day, I should imagine, and some. That's fair play, man. You got yourself organised.
So when it's just me sat round a fire pit, nice glass of whiskey, I think is
nice.
Mm.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna time to break out the big guns.
Yeah, he's breaking out the big guns. Oh,
bit of Big P.
Fair play, man. I'm
lovely.
That's
really good with some barbecue. That is.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's fantastic. So
anyone else going hard with me?
Yeah, I started ages ago.
I'll go and pick some stuff up in a minute, but I'm still on the cider.
Go on, Ryan. Go on.
If my lovely
go big
wife
or go home, mate.
She'd be bringing some stuff.
Luckily enough, my bed is just there, so it means I can drink the remainder of my rum and then just fall asleep.
Yeah,
I'm sat on a outdoor sofa here. So if I get too drunk, that's going to be my bed.
It'd probably be the best place to sleep, to be honest. To eat out here.
No, yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's lovely and cool now.
Yeah, I bet.
It ain't in here. It's 27 degrees at the minute where I'm sitting. It's like an oven. It's like a concrete bunker. Oh, we've got a question in the chat.
I'll tell you what. When I was cooking the burgers earlier, I was hot because I was doing them on the smash thing, and it's an open grill, and you know you got to get it pretty hot for smash burgers. And I'll tell you what, I was roasting. I went and had to have a lie down after that. I was way hot. I just got so hot because there's like a clear panel roof over here, so the sun was beating down on me. I had the fire in front of me, and I just got way too hot.
Yeah, I've got that paneling on my shelter, and I had the weather sort of under it, and I was like, as soon like the missus was in the hot tub, so I sort of like wandered around, went in there, and it was just like a different heat zone. You know what I mean? It was just so hot. I had to come out and get a couple of ciders just to keep me cool,
nice and refreshed.
So, question from Pickles in the chat. What's the strangest thing you've ever cooked?
I get asked that quite a lot. Probably like pig's head, I think, is whole pig's head. That's pretty strange.
How did you cook that? On what?
Just on the ceramic, and just with a bit of dry rub on, chucked it on. And I don't know if anyone's ever done a pig's head, but it's got an awful lot of fat in it, or an awful lot. And I could see, I was going around doing other stuff, and I could see that the smoke level was stepping up quite quickly. So it was, the fat was starting to render out and drop on the charcoal. So if I hadn't have caught it, it would have gone up in flames. But luckily, I sort of read the situation, and I chucked it in like a paella pan and back into the. Literally, by the time I'd taken the paella pan off, it was it was that much of fat in the bottom of it. So I mean, it was great for sort of larding stuff, but if that would have started to flare up, it would have been blazing inferno. So
especially in a ceramic, they just sort of self-heat, don't they? Once they get going, they just they go, don't they?
Yeah. So I guess that's pretty odd. I don't know what's odd, really.
No, I think that's.
I like coming up with new recipes and new ideas and techniques and stuff. So
it's pretty cool. I've never done a pig's head, but I've done pig cheeks, and they're really tasty. But I've never actually done a whole head.
So.
I don't. Did you?
Most of it's in the cheeks. I did try the brain, but it wasn't for me really. It wasn't, you know, the ears were quite chewy. I sliced those in, and they were quite chewy. And I tried a bit of the snout. Just you know, I got given it. It was a free range pig, and I got given the head as a thing to try. And yeah, it was interesting, but the cheeks were the best bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like pig cheeks; they're good. But I've not really eaten anything else off a pig's head. But no. But did you have to skin it before you cooked it, or did you leave the skin on when you cooked it?
Oh, skin on, so that sort of crackled up as well, and that was okay in places. Yeah, it was all right. It was I've done whole pigs quite a few times, but yeah, just the pig's head by itself was, you know, they were going to chuck it out, the people, and I was like, no, you can't chuck that out. That's good food in that. So
yeah, meat on that.
The brain wasn't nice, really.
No, I don't know if I'd be too keen on that.
No, I don't think I'd go near that. Hearts and brains, just
No, I wouldn't say I wouldn't, but I don't know. It must be a funny texture. I should imagine eating a brain. It must.
Yeah, it was like sort of custardy blancmange, sort of
a meaty blancmange sort of thing.
Yeah. I've done
not selling it to me.
Yeah, I've done what are they called? Not tender. It's not the. It's the glands. I can't remember what they're called. The not testicles. I haven't done testicles. I've forgotten what they're called. It's like the glands and stuff, and you cook those. What's the name of them? No, it's gone. It'll come to me when I stop thinking
or something like that. I know we get they're sort of around there on a lymph gland. I know they're around sort of the neck area on a human, and so it's similar setup for a pig. But
I can't remember the name of them.
Oh, Charlie's put thymus gland.
Yeah, that's it. But it's got another name. It's got another name. And I've cooked those, and they were pretty good. You know, you got to sort of get them nice and crispy. They're sort of like that sort of jelly custard sort of thing, but they were quite nice because they were crispy. The brain wasn't crispy.
No.
Jimmy Q's put the taint.
What?
The taint?
Jimmy asked whether it was the taint. It certainly isn't the taint, I can assure you.
No. I can't remember the name of them. Come on, somebody, put it in the chat.
Charlie's put something up, Matt. If you can see that, it's just above Cider. Cider put bollocks, but I don't think it's bollocks.
What's that? But it's called something else.
Yeah, it's the thymus gland, but what is it? It's it's not the bollocks.
No.
Come on, somebody, Google it. I did a video of it on my YouTube channel, and about 3 people watched it, so it wasn't very popular.
Go on, Matt. I'm going to Google it.
You're Googling it, yeah? All right then.
Actually, you got the power. I'll keep talking. You type and have a look. It'll take me longer to type than it will be. So we come back to that one. So covered that. So you mentioned your brewing stuff. What are you brewing at the moment, Marcus?
Beer. Just
plain old ale beer, or?
Yeah, I'm quite into my sort of pale ales. I've got a California cream ale, Rackau, which is a type of hops from New Zealand pale ale, and it's kind of like a lager ale hybrid. So it's like a dry hopped lager.
No, you got your bases covered then by the sounds of things. A whole sort of like plethora of beers. Fair play.
Yeah, there's a group of guys around here who like coming round for a bit of barbecue and a beer or two, and they seem to like my beer. It's free, so they seem to enjoy that.
No, Sorry, Matt.
Is that what we're talking about? Sweet bread.
Sweetbreads. That's it.
So
Who got
he's
it?
in the chat.
Who wins?
There you go, Russ. He said it like 5 times. I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
Yeah, sweetbreads.
There you go.
That's
Oh,
it.
well
Yeah,
done.
that's the one. Sweetbreads. Well done, Russ.
What?
Yeah,
Sweetbread.
There you go.
What a pig.
But
Well,
that's
I don't know.
that's exactly what it was.
they would no doubt be really good with his rubs on.
Oh,
Something nice and
100.
spicy, nice jalapeno herb rub would be good on those. I think something a bit of, to take the taste away.
I'm not gonna lie, they don't look appetizing.
I've got to agree with you, to be honest, Matt. It looks like something out of Alien. You know, when the thing jumps on the face, it looks like something off of one of them.
I was looking at it and I was thinking, yeah, I'm sure there's something better in a pig that you can cook than those.
I don't know, they might be quite tasty. That's pretty hardcore, Marcus. Fair play to you, mate.
Yeah, that was they were nice, but I'd say challenging but nice.
So
something you need to dust with a lot of rub on.
They look chewy. They must take a lot of breaking down.
No, they're not. They're quite soft, actually. It's a bit like a scallop, that sort of texture.
Oh, right.
Okay.
But yeah, and they're quite sweet. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'd want it every day or every year, but when you get given them, or when you get to somebody says, "Oh, here, try these," you got to do something with them.
You got to step up and give it your all, haven't you? Sort of. Yeah. We'll try that. I like that. The side has put not even a mouthful. And Charlie saying, "I thought the English weren't squeamish."
So you got some Americans there. They ever cook prairie oysters on the barbecue? Bollocks.
I'm pretty sure there must be. Charlie must have done pickles. Yeah. What have you cooked? I'm sure you must have fried up a couple of balls in your time. Yeah, that's straight away. Yes, he has.
Yeah, that's something I haven't tried that I'd be keen to try. So, how were they? Were they okay?
I mean, in fact, what I can do is, if he is kicking about pickles, I'm going to send you the link. If you want to just jump in, we can discuss it a little bit more. If you're up for it.
You might be in his sat in his pants or something.
That's Lep.
Lep would be sat in his
100% be sat with next to no clothes on.
And he'd probably have a great big American hat with some sunglasses and nothing else generally.
Yeah. So nobody's commented about the attire, tonight's attire. I've got this special shirt out, and neither of you two wore Hawaiian shirts, which I'm very disappointed at. And
I've got some; they just don't fit at the minute. It's a sensitive subject for myself. And
what you should have done, Ryan, is you should have wore like a vest and then just sort of had it half undone, like the cool kids do.
Yeah,
and then no one would have known they didn't fit.
I'm not even that cool. I don't know what the cool kids do.
Yes, you are, Ryan.
No, definitely. So go on and tell us about the Hawaiian shirts that you rock all the time.
So, yeah. So when I sort of first started getting a bit more serious about barbecue and doing demos and stuff, I used to get like the chef's blacks, like the nice, with the logos on and sponsors and stuff. And I remember doing demos, and you see people, and it's quite intimidating. I find, it's quite chefy, and I don't think barbecuers are chefs necessarily. With something different. And for me, barbecuing is a bit of fun. It's about a bit of theatre, a bit of having a bit of good times and enjoying life, and taking life a bit less seriously. So for me, I wanted something different to that really, and you know, like you could wear a nice like white shirt or something, or even like a black shirt like you guys have got, and you know, you're cooking your food and there's grease flying everywhere, and you pick up a nice, you know, nice sandwich of something, yeah, with barbecue sauce and fat, and you put it to your mouth and it drips, yeah. And even on your lovely black shirts you've got there, whatever you're wearing,
Nice big
you've got a drip
stain
mark
on
there.
the front of it. Yeah, you've got
Yeah, a nice big stain down. Now with a Hawaiian shirt, it's gone. You don't notice, you know, it's there, you know. So honestly, it's like barbecue drippage camouflage, the ultimate. It's a bit of fun, and you know, so I mean, some of my heroes of you know, wear Hawaiians. You know, Ainsley Harriott. You know, he was one of the barbecue gods, really, of the sort of 90s and, you know, 2000s. You know, he always likes a Hawaiian, and Tom Selleck, Magnum PI. You know, I could never grow a moustache like he can, but you know, I can rock a Hawaiian. He's a big hero of mine. So why not? Why not?
Yeah,
it's fun, and yeah, I get asked that quite a lot, really, and you know, I don't want to be known for wearing these. I want to be known for my food, but you know, why not? It's fun. It's, you know, life's too short to be serious, and a bit of fun, and get on and enjoy it, and whatever makes you happy, I think.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Live life for now, and
yeah,
that's what you got to do. 100%, man.
Absolutely.
So, back to some of the questions we've got for you then. What are some tips and things that you've learned over the years that you pass on to people?
Okay, so I assume that people here are probably into their barbecue already, so I'm not going to bother with direct, indirect, using a thermometer, digital thermometer, all those. I mean, my top tip is probably just to have fun, relax, and enjoy it, and not stress the little things. Learn from your mistakes, and try not to do them again. And you know, really sort of think about your food. Sort of, you know, like a lot of people do a barbecue, and they've got like, I don't know, like tikka chicken. They've got Mexican this. They've got that. Think of it maybe as more of like a meal. You know, so where are you cooking your food from? Are you doing like an Argentine style meal? You know, so some nice beef, some grilled vegetables, chimichurri, that kind of thing. Are you doing something from the States? You know, try and think of it as like a meal rather than separate barbecue bits that a lot of people in the UK do. You go to a typical British barbecue, and there's
a
bits from all over the world, really. And although I love food from all over the world, you know, for me it jars to put maybe like, you know, Chinese chicken with, you know, a Middle Eastern beef kebab or lamb kebab. You know, that doesn't, you know. So think of the meal you're doing. Also, I think that sometimes there's too much smoked food and too much. And actually, I quite like just a little bit with some really nice sides, some good bread, and actually, it doesn't have to. You know, you see these. I've done them. You see these massive platters, and it's all smoked, all meat, and that's too much for me usually. It's nice to do occasionally, but usually too much. And I'd much rather have a nice, well cooked bit of meat with, you know, some of the good stuff to go with it. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I think that, you know, think of the meal you're cooking rather than just put it on a plate and cook it. You know, think a bit more in depth about what you're actually trying to achieve. You know, with that meal.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, structured barbecue, the way forward.
Yeah.
Sure. It's like from what you just said, you're, instead of just chucking a few bits and bobs on, you're actually designing a meal around what you're cooking rather than sort of, here's a sausage, here's a kebab, and then have some Chinese, as you said, you know, have a theme going, make it structured, and everything complement
if that makes you happy having all sorts, then do it. You know, too many people say, oh, that's wrong, you can't do it like that, you know, you can't cook a brisket like that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Actually, sort of bullshit, excuse my French, bullshit to that. You cook what you want to do and you be happy with it and you enjoy it with your family and friends. Sod what anyone else thinks, you know, sod what matey on whatever forum thinks. Do you do what you makes you happy?
If it tastes
I
good,
do.
there's nothing else.
I don't care what people think, you know, really. I just do what makes me happy and I enjoy it. I enjoy my photos and sharing and, you know, helping people. I enjoy that. So I'm going to do that. And, I don't stress what people think.
Yeah. So I sort of follow the same kind of thing with mine. I mean, I, cook and then I'll take pictures, and if people like it, people like it. If people don't, then it don't bother me. I've had, decent food out of it. So
yeah,
just sort of building the community and giving back. You know, people sometimes turn around and say, "Oh, yeah, how did you do that?" And it's a little conversation style. You have a conversation with them, tell them how you've made what's such and such, and it's just building that community.
People do get hung up on the photography. I'm a food photographer. That's what I do. I did photography way back, before I was barbecuing. I love to take photos of food. That's part of the challenge for me. That's part of the process. I love to cook a nice meal and then to get a nice photo or a video of that. And that for me is the process. Other people, that's not important to them, and that's okay. But don't do others down for what they want to do. If somebody likes using a lot of filters on their food photography, that's great. Let them do that. That's their thing. If people like taking pictures of knives or whatever, their favorite knives, and that's okay too. It's people are too keen to do others down in a small community, and that's not good. It's positive. Barbecue is a positive force for good, I think.
So you look some of the best people I've ever spoken to have been involved with barbecue, to be honest. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot more now, and every one of them are positive. They never ever run anyone down. They're always sort of, oh yeah, that's really cool. And if there are any sort of the positive sort of feedback, maybe you could do this better, or maybe you could try and do that better. Not, oh my god, what? Because there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there. You know what I mean? Nice. And it's easy to run people down if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
That's what I generally find. If you get someone who puts a negative comment up about your stuff on a video, and you actually inquire about, okay, how would you do it? Suddenly it all goes really, really quiet because they actually don't know. If there's no substance to a criticism, there's no criticism in the first place, is there? So if you can't enforce what you're actually trying to say, don't say anything. It's easy to. It's easy. But
people are too keen to be negative towards people, and I get like I'll say and I've checked the temperature of the steak. I know it's medium rare. I've cooked it. I've cut into it. I've eaten it myself. I know it's medium rare, and I'll put a video on it or a picture, and I'll say, oh yeah, I enjoyed this nice medium rare, and somebody will come up and go, that's not medium rare, that's medium. And you go, well, no, it's not. I cooked it and I enjoyed it, and it's people will jump in, and
there is one thing I will say to that. If you do actually sometimes, like, you take a picture and it can grade a steak out, which is a bit it can change the look of a steak, and it can change the look of something. But you're the guy who's cooked it, you know exactly what it was because you probed it and you ate it. So who are they to say what it was? It's crazy.
Absolutely,
it's nonsense.
Barbecue,
I mean, Cider's got it, and I got a lot of respect for him there. He says too many people slagging off others on the net. All barbecues matter, absolutely. Right. Positive. And barbecue is a positive thing in life. You think of all the good times you have with your family in the summer, and it's around the barbecue, it's around the fire pit.
Absolutely.
You're not stood around the microwave waiting for it to go ping, are you? You stood around the barbecue. That's a positive, good thing, and that's how it should be. And You know, I mean, a lot of people were slagging off the Tom Kerridge barbecue program last night. You know, I'd like to see a lot of people like that do better. And you know, TV's got its own challenges. And you know, he's a chef. He's used to cooking in an indoor kitchen. I think he did a great job. You know, it's okay. It's not to a lot of people's what they want to do. Don't slack it off. Get on and enjoy it and do your own thing.
I guarantee you, if they sat down to a table and he made it, it'd be the best damn thing they've had. But
absolutely.
The method behind what he was doing was slightly different. You know, so be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
you know, and I always cook my ribs the American way, but actually, you know, I'm going to have a go at steaming them with beer. I'm going to have a go at, I quite fancy bourbon steamed ribs, you know, doing that. And you think actually, you know, like even the 3-2-1 way of cooking. So you get a nice smoke and then you wrap it in like apple juice, you know, and butter and whatever, you know, barbecue sauce and wrap it up. That's steaming it. And then you finish it. So, you know, who's to say that's the best in the middle and not at the beginning? You know, I know the physics of it, that I like the smoke on, you know, meat takes on, you know, so maybe he'd have done better if he'd have given it a bit of smoke first and then, you know, and then finished it off. But who's to say he's wrong? He enjoyed those ribs. I'm sure they were pretty tasty.
I bet they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that there was a few complaints, let's put it that way, floating around the internet yesterday after people were watching it. But
well, he's a Michelin-starred chef. Like, who are we to criticise? You know what I mean?
Knows what he's doing.
I'm just a bloke who sits around, has a beer, and cooks barbecue. I have no idea what he does.
Yeah,
he's like a magician sometimes. The food he cooks.
Yeah, but, I mean, I work quite hard to remove negativity, and you know, people who are negative really haven't got a place for me in the community. You know, they bring there's people who bring others down all the time, and they're not really welcome for me. They can go and do their own thing, really, as far as I'm concerned. You know, I like positive people who are doing good things and working hard to promote people, you know, and to help people cook better. That's the people I like. If somebody's
in the right place there, mate.
Yeah. You know, negativity just comes up and bites people, I think. So
100%. What goes around comes around. I'm a great believer in that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll drink to that.
Same. I'm going to go and step my game up in a minute. So what we need to do is get these questions out of the way, and then run the little ad, or run the little thing, and then get the bar open, I think. So what would you say is your biggest blooper, cooking wise? What is your worst, your sort of biggest oh no moment?
I mean, I'm quite famous for dropping drinks when I'm doing live TV, and I've done that a few times. Probably that. I don't do so many bloopers now. The more you do stuff, the less issues you have. So the more, you know. I mean, I remember standing in front of the camera here doing videos, going and having fire and stuff going. You look at my early videos on YouTube, and but yeah, you get the sort of hang of it. Really, it's quite hard sometimes. Sort of, you know, quite often I'll do like a filming day, and I'll do sort of 7 or 8 recipes in a day with the guys who come and film me. And sometimes it's quite hard sort of juggling all of those things and getting it right. And you know, I always try and be honest, but the more experience you get, the less mistakes you make, I think. And that's not to say I don't make mistakes. I'm always, you know, trying to be quite honest about when I do make mistakes, you know, because it's the mistakes that help you learn. But I've made a lot of those mistakes in, you know, I've been doing what I do for 10 years now. So I made a lot of mistakes early on, and, you know, I like to think that that I can help people not make those mistakes now by you me passing on my knowledge. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Let's go for the last one in the question. So, a bit completely off barbecue topic. Top 3 music albums.
Oh,
What do you listen to
barbecue
when you're out in
food.
your shack? Yeah.
Anything. It doesn't necessarily be barbecue related. Whatever's your favorite music.
So I really like a bit of bluegrass, but like modern bluegrass. I really like a band called the Dead South.
Okay.
If you haven't heard those, then check them out. They've got a great song called "In Hell I'll Be in Good Company." They're brilliant. The other one would be Nathaniel Rateliff and the Batsy and the Nathaniel Rateliff. What's he called? I've forgotten his name. Nathaniel Rateliff and the Bad something. And he's got a song called "Bring Me a Drink, Son of a Bitch." Son of a bitch, bring me a drink. So
wicked.
He's really good.
I'm going to be
kind of like a modern Van Morrison. I like him. He's really good. Number 3, I quite like Hugh Laurie. His albums, he does some really good bluesy sort of stuff, and he's brilliant. I like his stuff to chill to. So yeah, that sort of bluesy, bluegrassy sort of thing. There's another lady who's really good. Who's she's the Spoon Lady, Abby the Spoon Lady, and she plays spoons on her legs, and she is brilliant. Some of her stuff is wonderful.
All sounds a bit Cockney to me. The old
Cockney.
and queens and spoons.
She's very bluesy and yeah, very bluesy and very cool.
I'll make a note and have a listen. I think that's one of my favourite questions. It's to find out what I love music, and being able to find different types of music to listen to is always a good thing.
I've got if you're interested, so on my YouTube channel at the bottom there's playlists. One of them is music to barbecue to, and a lot of the music I've suggested is in there. So
I'll check that out. Definitely check that out. 100%. So
that's quite a good tip, Ryan, for your channel. If you like sort of songs and stuff, then have a little section at the bottom that just says the songs you like to barbecue to. That's quite a nice little thing, because then you're sharing your love of music that you like to cook with, and
yeah, it's a good idea. I'll put that in. I'm always trying to look for different ideas and new angles and perspectives for my channel. So yeah, thank you. That's good advice, mate. Much appreciated.
That's all
right. So that kind of wraps up the formalities of the interview. So what we tend to do at this point is we have a little break, and then if you're happy, Marcus, if you want to hang around for a little while, we'll get some
I'm
people
always
in
happy, mate.
from the chat, and have a good old conversation. So it's time to wrap, or time to grab the butcher's paper and wrap this up. We'd like to thank you, Marcus, for coming on. You've been a great guest.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you. Pleasure, guys.
Where can people find you on social media?
Can I just say it's a real honour that you asked me on here. I'm really, really honoured that you asked me to be a part of this, and I really think you guys are going to go far with this. It's really good to see, and it's really positive, and really impressed. So thank you. Who I am, just Country Wood Smoke. You'll find me pretty much everywhere. I'm on Twitter. I'm Devon Wood Smoke, but if you Google Country Wood Smoke, you'll find me. That's about it.
Country Wood Smoke across all
on all the platforms.
Is the word I was looking for.
Again, thank you guys for all tuning into Barbecue Talks this week. Go check out our Facebook group page. That's at Barbecue Talk Show. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Smoking Cues. Ryan is Ryan_Gs_barbecue.stuff on YouTube, Instagram, and are you on Facebook, Ryan?
All right.
I think you
Well,
are.
only my Oakley Drum smokers
Yeah.
on Facebook.
So yeah, go head over there, hit like, subscribe on the Barbecue Talk Show on YouTube, and if you want to follow us and like us on Facebook, that'd be great. The community is growing on Facebook, and we're certainly looking to grow that and give back to the community, make barbecue in the UK and further afield, just a little bit more positive and friendly place to be. So.
Absolutely.
Right. So go and fill up your cups, guys. Grab yourself a drink, empty the tank if you need to, and then in 3 minutes' time we'll be back for a bit of the pub club. See you soon, guys.
See you in a minute, guys.